Have you started?
Yeah, you can start now. I'll edit the first part out. You can just start.
Are you serious?
I'm
It didn't
serious.
show my screen.
Just start. I will remove it.
Okay.
I'll remove it. Don't worry.
Welcome. All right. Hello, welcome to our podcast again, the Gem Podcast. You're welcome today. Today
Hi.
is what, I am Princess and Felix, right?
Yeah, I'm Felix. Yeah, you're right.
Introduce yourself before I introduce
I
you.
don't know. I was like, I'm Princess. Yeah, yes, I'm Felix. I think you said it last time. I'm Felix. Yeah, you can continue.
So, Felix, how have you been doing?
I'm doing good. I don't actually know how I'm doing at the moment. I just know the week was very stressful. I had a lot to do, and also with the podcast now, it's like also on the weekend, I feel like I'm also still working. So, but I'm actually doing good. I'm feeling better today. Was able to get a good rest yesterday, so I can't complain. What of you? How are you doing?
Well, I think I'm on the same side with you. I think anybody who's here would feel the same. Saturdays and Sundays, to be honest, are just too little. Like, can't they add another day to this weekend? So it will be like 3 days. Even at 3 days, I don't think it will also be enough. But really, 2 days feels like I'm still working, and Monday is just a continuous cycle of the whole week.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've seen that TikTok where people will just come in with their bags and everything, jump on the bed, and then the alarm rings, kick, 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 and they'll just stand up and keep going back to work.
No, I haven't
exactly
seen
how
it.
I feel.
I'm not on
you've not seen
TikTok.
it?
I'm not on TikTok.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got bad TikTok. You bad TikTok. You forget your days. But yeah, I mean, there is this video on TikTok. That's how it feels. But it has been good. I can't complain. 2022 just started. So what more do we want out of life than, just being contented and happy that we are here today. So welcome to our podcast, the Gem Podcast. I hope you're ready for today's topic. I think we're going to be discussing about abuse, of course, parental abuse. So today, Felix will be discussing about, first of all, I will say the definition, maybe the reasons, the signs, like examples, effects, and how to respond. I don't know. For now, I think we're just going to be discussing. And also how to heal. It's a long journey. And I do not know the answers of how to heal. So, I think that's what we'll be discussing today. And if you're interested, please stay tuned. And grab a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, your wine, for example, beer, gin tonic, Jack Daniel, whatever it is, we have ours. Maybe next week we'll probably bring something stronger than coffee. But yeah, let's get this rolling.
Yeah.
So
you made the mention of abuse and also parental abuse. I remember we were just like discussing before we started recording, and I was like, why not just call it abuse? Or like, because I was like thinking about the whole topic throughout the week, and I was like, is it training? Is it abuse? Maybe what we are actually even calling abuse for some people is training, and now we are calling it abuse. So it puts me in a very difficult situation, because I was like thinking, for me, abuse was more of something I experienced in my high school, because it was a boarding school. Okay, so for me, it was more of I'm talking mainly about this abuse. And then you made a comment about parental abuse, and I was like, at the end of the day, it's actually the responsibility of the parents. Okay, to take care of the child. And then at that moment, I was like, okay, does it still also fall under parental abuse? You know what I'm trying to say? It's like, it's like moving, been going through my head for some while now. Because I know where I'm from, nobody calls it then abuse. But then you get to a stage in your life whereby you look at it and you're like, actually, it was an abuse. It's like, so that's why I'm very happy about the topic. And then we can share our experiences or what we've seen, and then let's jump into the topic. What do you see as like parental abuse? I would like to also know your opinion on that.
Reading some things before, while growing up, I think, I wouldn't have seen it as parental abuse because I didn't know about that name, to be honest. When you grow, you know about what parental abuse is.
Yeah.
I think while growing up, you see it as training, but also as a very hard training. Because you start asking yourself a whole lot of questions. And I think we as Nigerians, or I don't know, I would say myself, we're not trained up to be critical in thinking. We're only trained up to accept what we get. But when you travel, when you go out, when you are maybe well read, or there are a whole lot of things you've come in contact with, or I don't know how to put it, but then you start realizing, or you start thinking back and start now thinking critically, like, what was that I went through? What was that happened to me? And we grew up thinking it was normal. And then we realized that later in life, those things that are normal are not more normal.
It's not normal.
They affect you. Yeah, they affect you in your relationship. They affect you in your relationship with your kids, your relationship with friends, with lovers, and it doesn't sit right. You start noticing that the decisions you made in life was a sort of decision you made because of those abuses you went through.
Yeah.
Yeah. And parental abuse, of course, is also known as child parental or parents violence. It's violence. Nevertheless, if it's physical, if it's adolescent ways, psychologically, they penetrate you. They penetrate your mind, your soul, and your body. Beating kids up, unfortunately, makes children gain a certain, we outburst, so to speak. We make outbursts sometimes that we're like, where did this come from? I can take that from my brother. He is like, oh, all of a sudden, and then you feel, what happened? But right there where he is, if you're there with him, you would feel that, hey, this boy know the year word, na very stubborn boy, na very this and this. But the funniest part is he's the most intelligent kid, but he doesn't even know why he's reacting like that. Because I'm no more at home, I had to, analyze this, and I saw that, okay, there is a lot of things wrong here. And from all these parents who are also victims from their parents, they make us, their children, also be victims of what they're doing to us. So that means it's like a generational thing. And parents who are the victims of child violence, that their children can benefit from their professional, I wouldn't put it professional. That is if they decide to, I think I'm saying something that's not right, because here, when a parent gets this violence from their parents, they do not know that they've gotten it. Then they release it out on their kids.
And you're right. Yeah.
And then when they release it out on their kids release it out on other on their own kids and onto other people too. Only when they realize that, hey, what my parents did to me, then they start fighting it. They start getting help. You know what I mean? And then they decide. Then they make an intentional decision, not to pass it on to their kids. And then, it's like this cycle would break, but it takes a whole lot of time. So I mean, that's what I see by parental abuse. And you, Felix?
No, you actually made a comment which I would like to continue from. That was like you realizing that there was an abuse there was something actually happened there. It's like a different topic altogether. Even to just accept something went wrong, something didn't go right there. It's a complete different topic, because I knew with my own personal experience, okay? Growing up in a Christian home and all those stuff, so you go to Proverb, I don't know the chapter, and I don't think I want to even know the chapter. Something, spare the rod and spoil the child. And just like confirmation, you just got your authority from God to use that cane and flog out the evil spirit from that child. It's like, spare the rod. Do you know how? And that's just like the beginning of the whole stuff. That's why I don't even want to know the chapter, because it takes away, like you already mentioned, the critical thinking. Okay, what is this passage of the Bible trying to say? What do you pick up from it? You just understand about sparing the rod and spoiling the child. That means like you should flog your child, and at the end of the day, you turn this child or your son or your daughter into another monster who doesn't even know how to run their emotions, don't even know how to control their emotions. And so their emotion is just like, when it comes up, when someone does something wrong, what's the next reaction? You have to be punished. You have to be shown that you did something wrong. Oh my God. From my own personal experience, I had to like come to a certain point where I'm like, something actually went wrong there. That wasn't the best way to go about it. And it's all about me also, like you already mentioned, traveling out of the country, going to other places where it's being done different. Because you see your counterparts, they don't even know what it means. Like, they weren't even flogged by their kids, by their parents, sorry. And they turned out to be responsible human beings, human beings. And you're like, then something is definitely wrong. Something is definitely wrong with the whole stuff. Because if they were able to achieve this without this, it doesn't mean the parents also here don't abuse their children also in other ways. But we are discussing about our own personal experience, okay? So for me, it's not just about the violence, okay? It depends also on your definition of violence, okay? For me, it's also about the emotional part of the whole abuse, the violence also involved, not even thinking about what you're doing to the child, just being focused on your own ego, because I feel like most of those abuse starts from the ego of the parents. Okay, I don't want you to disgrace me. I don't want to be the father of the mother of the untrained child. And that's the only way I can train you, is like to flog you or to beat you or to abuse you or to push you. And then you turn, a normal child into a monster. So for me, that's like what I understand under that word abuse. It's like, or the parent or the one that happens at home. Because most of the time we come along with baggages. And then my own happened. I'll call it that it happened till I went to high school. And that was like the place I understood that my parents loved me. I got to that high school, I realized, oh, my parents are the best you can think about. I couldn't believe what I saw there. So, and I got the other part of abuse, and these were the people like my parents handed over the responsibility of training me. I have a question there. How can you hand over the responsibility of training your child to somebody else who doesn't have a child? I need to mention it because I went to a missionary school. And most of them don't know what it means to have your own child. And they are the ones responsible to train us. So, you go through all these abuses, and like you already mentioned, and then it affects your life in a way that you can't actually describe. You're like,
no,
how is this possible? What were your own experiences, like parental abuse? What was your own experiences like?
Funny, I don't want to get emotional on, I'll start crying or something, but it's just bad. It is bad. Even though I know they love me, they didn't, or I would say it's a one-side parental abuse. It is not the both side. It's just one side. And actually... But
just to break you off, like you said, they love you,
they both love
exactly.
Me,
That's the love.
They both love.
That's the love. We have to also make it very clear.
They both love all of us. But the funniest part is that at the end of the day, one side of the parents keeps trying to make the other side of the parents get bad to the kids. And not only that, it's I don't know if anybody out there can relate when, for example, you're coming from a home where the mother does not like the father, but they are still married. And now that you're grown, you're like, why is this person not going if you're feeling so bad? But this person is not going. And then it falls on you all the time. You wake up in the morning, you're like, oh, God, again. You see their call, you're like, oh, God, again. And they just keep telling you things about, for example, your uncles, how bad they are, and you know very well that it's not true. I mean, this is something that you've abused the kids to an extent that they can't even grow. They want to grow, but they can't grow. They can't even see things. And funny enough, people think it's by going to church and praying, and of course, prayer is good and everything, but you need to realize that this person or whatever you're praying for is right there in your house. You can't pray for something and think that they are outside there chasing you, bam, bam.
Yeah.
You know, they're running after you when that thing you're praying for is in your house. You have to deal with the household before you go outside and start praying. For example, you have a parent who keeps telling you that this person and this person is not good, right? And then you realize at the end of the day, this person and this person that is not good, they're the ones making it in life. Like, you can see it, it's so evident. But because you are scared of this person and this person, you do not do things that's going to make you move. Because you feel that there is something inhibiting you. That means this person and this person. It's a whole lot of head work here. Instead of you to use your head work or your head to work out the way that your life would move in the right direction, you use your head to work out things that doesn't make sense, in my opinion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's a pattern, it's a pattern of like harmful, demeaning behaviors.
Yes.
By the parents onto the children.
Yeah.
That means by children directed at their parents, and it doesn't only cost you physical things; it costs you financially, psychologically distressed, and you making decisions. Like how I said before, it is different on an occasion, like when your parents quarrel, for example, right? One person is always sticking the other person, and then one person decides, okay, for me to make this person get hurt, I have to get onto the kids. Yeah, and then they bring that thing. It occurs because of their frustration, because and this frustration begins to occur or evolve into dissatisfaction.
Yeah.
You know, and this dissatisfaction gets onto uncontrollable rage, anger, and you begin to realize, okay, I'm talking to my mother, I'm talking to my father, but hey, something is wrong.
Yeah.
And you ask yourself, where is the spirit of forgiveness?
Yeah.
Like, okay, for example, we're all grown. We keep asking one side of our parents, please forgive. You have grown children that are practically trying to do well. Why don't you forgive so that there will be love in this family? And one side keeps saying no. Like one side keeps saying, oh, this thing that happened in 2018. Hey, Chimo, hey, man, in 2015. And I'm like, are you going to forget it? Okay, forgetting is hard, but forgiving. You know
those moments you're like,
if you look at your siblings, you're like, hey, something is wrong. Something is wrong.
You know those moments you're like
Okay.
questioning, like, how is it possible that these were the people that raised you? These were the people that like taught you all these things, you know?
Yeah.
Those moments you're
Yeah.
like, how is that possible? You know?